thinking about it being this early, starting this broadcast here at 4:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We just want to break into this event here, this video event that we're having here, and we're going to talk a little bit about socialism being a gimmick and not really a program at all. Somebody tried telling me just a little while ago on the Bernie Sanders live event thing that the cops and the firefighters and other things like that are social programs. And no, they're not. They're not. They're useful things that society needs, obviously. But anything that is, in my opinion, I think is corrupt or being abused or where people are because they can be pandered to. They have people who use them and use socialism as a gimmick to get people like their trust or their vote or whatever they're trying to swing. But people, whenever they're hit with these things broadsided, they're like, yeah, 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 let's fight this like champions. But they don't ever really think about where they're going with this. So you want to give everybody an education. So we're going to have everybody take advantage of social programs, which are really just thing. Also, it's another thing designed to kill capitalism. Capitalism was what was formed for our markets and our economy from having democracy. So you see that movie 300 or whatever. Well, basically, we're the Greeks, and I understand there's a lot of us that are Christian and we believe in religious practices and things, which I support all those people to be able to do practice whatever you want, except radical uh, terrorism, Christianity or Muslim or Buddhism or whatever they are. I'm sure all those different things, not just Islamic State being a problem with not just communities but the world, uh, basically the entire world. Um, so anyway, so this is basically the gist of where all of these people who like think Bernie Sanders is something different than Hillary just because he has a cleaner track record, which I can show you probably more than likely that he really does not, and that there's a lot of even Republicans now that we would be aware of that are not perfect. They're just as bad and corruptible. Look at Paul Ryan, and he seemed a little bit corruptible. So we replaced Boyner to have Ryan go in there and just go play golf with Obama here, and then you needed Ryan in there because Boyner wasn't agreeing or getting along with Obama and actually caused the. Yeah, it's Boyner's fault. It's not Obama at all. You know, Obama didn't cause the sequester because he wants to bankrupt America for whatever reason. It's a high crime. It's treason, and it's enough to have him jailed, convicted, and put to death for uh, treason. I'm talking about Obama or anybody who's got enough power to go in there and push their weight around like that. And then that brings me a little bit past. I want to talk about ripping people off also, but it makes me jump to the last thing in my title here, and that is whom does Obama represent? Or who do people think Obama represents? Do you think Obama represents you? If you are, let's say I'm not a fag. Let's say you're gay, um, and you're have a gay group or something like that. Because of what Obama has done, you're only led to believe that Obama supports you and is got your back. You know what I mean? And he's honest. But honestly, these people are seeing right past all that because obviously they must be as corrupted as the politicians themselves if they're going to send somebody like Obama or Bernie or Hillary or any of those socialist pukes, commies. They're going to send them into our government to get even with us and our country, and they're getting even with their government supposed to be a representative. So, um, socialism is a gimmick, and it only leads to us losing our prosperity, losing our chances and opportunities in America, and being subject to government rule completely, regardless of how ridiculous the laws will be. We will be subjected and forced to be submitted to the government and what the government intends and its intentions are. And I see with them pandering and basically using socialism as a gimmick, um, these guys, it brings me to another thing. Let's see. Let's see. Mm, I can't think of the name. Because, well, I had some severe learning disabilities, so I was um, tortured and made to suffer and all this other stuff from being immunized, overly immunized when I was 3 months old. So basically, everything that I have is from me wanting to learn more, get my high school diploma I got when I was 21. I got an adult high school diploma because I wanted to join the Marines. So um, basically, I don't know why it ended up going so far out to where um, I was basically 26 by the time that I went in. It seemed like I was 26 when I went to go talk to the recruiter the last time that I did to try to get in there. But you can't cry over spilt milk like that. And I'll always be um, a fighter and a warrior. So being raised by a Marine, I know a lot of the traditions and things that apply to them, and I would not mask or fake or lie or anything when it comes to the military. So we find that me being very genuine with them. Onto another story. I'm thinking about another story that I want to talk about. It's about some people trying to beat up on Donald Trump for saying he was going to the military is going to listen to him and he's going to tell them what to do or whatever, and he's just going to be another dictator. Why? Because people went and joined the military and signed it right away. Yes, I will be dictated to is what they said right on the dotted line where they signed. It says, yes, I agree to have my rights taken away from me at a certain level to be in the military. You can't talk about certain political things and this and that already. So I was one person that wanted to go and become president or a politician or something and fight. With one of the objectives that I have in mind is to allow the military all to be able to be heard on a media type of platform where you can hear the pros and cons to everything, because basically all we're hearing right now is a con job, is a complete con. There's no pro, nothing going on with our country. It's all con this, con that, con. So this gimmick not being a program goes into the people who are voting for it. Obviously, maybe some of them are subconsciously not even thinking about why they're voting for Bernie Sanders and the consequences to doing that, or Obama and what it's done. We're $21 trillion in more in debt now. Not more, but I mean our nation is at least $11 trillion more in debt now than it was before because you sent a social sheriff over here, Obama, to come toting in here and, whoosh, we're going to do our social thing here, we're going to get even with all these people, all these crumb bums. And he doesn't represent me. He represents a minority idea to have all of these segregated groups and people and things. Wow, they're crapping on handicapped people, but the unity is not there. So we can't say like, oh, whatever these people and these people are all Americans, you know, and come together. We must separate each one. So it's no wonder why he's got all of us either on one side or another. But it's like clash, of the titans here in America already. We're about ready to have another civil war or something crazy go on here. And you think Obama cares? No, he's Obamacare. Obama cares. He cares. Yeah, he cares. He cares to request to get paid more money after he just went and lied to everybody and should be charged with treason. But one of the charges should be all, not one, but several of the charges made up by the FBI on Obama and charged him with it. Um, is basically saying all that bullshit like, oh, Bush was, he just pulled out a credit card from China and just wanted to go all crazy with it, and that is not even what happened. And Bush balance did a balanced budget also. So the debt was not going up like people want you to believe. They want to tell you, oh, well, they spent billions in Halliburton, and the war cost billions of this over here and this and that. And oh boy, I'm telling you, he spent maybe about a trillion out of the 4 trillion that was spent under his administration. And he had to take the brunt for all of it and try to budget it and balance all that out through the government and pay it off. So, and some of those charges, those debts that were in the 4 trillion, because we were at 9 trillion when Bush left, and the recession was about over. It was not getting worse. Um, they were caused; those things were caused by different people in our society that are obviously just as bad as a traitor. If you go and um, do a Ponzi scheme like what they did with the housing market, and a couple people made billions of dollars, they wasted so much money, material, lumber. Um, there's so many different things that just were just destroyed instead of being given to somebody or being used. They ultimately ended up destroying it. Um, and people's credit ratings were destroyed. Their credit history was destroyed. At least until they can get past their bankruptcy. I don't know how many people committed suicide over that, but it was a Ponzi scheme. And you can also say, well, Bush and Cheney, obviously, what did they have their hands tied to not be able to go after such corruptedness in the market, in the American market? And I'm talking about the housing bubble. So any kind of bubble that's out there needs to be treated in like the remedy for it must be you must prosecute people who are doing that just as much as you would anybody else for Ponzi scheme. You sent that guy Madoff. Was it Madoff? Is that right? Off to prison for however long he got convicted for. Might not ever be out ever again, right? Might not ever see the daylight ever again. But I'm just saying that that was one thing that worked out right. And other people, when they took the people that were abusing the situation at Wall Street. When they took those Wall Street tycoons down, that was under the Bush administration, from what I recall. And that was heading into the right direction. And now you don't even have these socialists who have your back, who have all our backs, don't aren't even stopping cyber bullies from trying to put a spam or uh, scam thing on my computer, on people's computer. They put so much money into the TSA, but yet they don't they don't regulate the internet in a positive way, so you still are stuck with the con. This could have very easily have been titled "The Pros and Cons to the U.S. Government," but it's only the cons, so it would actually be entitled "Only the Cons in the U.S. Government." So socialism is not a gimmick, is not a program, it's a gimmick used to pander to people and to lie to them. And the people who do that are sitting there taking whatever they get for their vote. They're breaking the law. They're helping the politician break the law. And it sounds like they're trading in a bit of their decency or all of their decency, and ripping hardworking people off in order to get their social justice or whatever. So they're ripping people off through the government, all of us, instead of us working together and having our own projects. See, like me, one of the ideas that I had to helping the economy out was getting everybody if they can't get up and go to a job somewhere real close or far away or however they got to get there, as long as it's as they're comfortable with their job and where it's at. Um, People need to be able to have more incentive to have private companies or private business. See, I'm like entrepreneur type of person, sort of. Pretty much, I can take scraps of something that some people would consider waste and just garbage, and I could turn it into a profit or something positive and recycle it for real, you know? So, right now, when we're denying conservatism and denying people with good, intelligent, intellectual, positive, pro thoughts for helping America out, you're only pandering and helping out the con job that's going on in America right now. And I don't. Last thing I'm gonna say is I do not consider Obama my president. He's not my president. If you consider your president, I really don't know how. I don't know how you can consider him your president whenever he only panders. He's only given throwing a gimmick out here, a trick, or device intended to attract attention publicly or business. So, and there could be a gimmick that could be a pro gimmick, you know? So there's like pro propaganda and pro gimmicks, but right now we are conned, and it is a con gimmick is all that it is. And socialism is dead in America. It is not alive. It is not a part of America. It has absolutely nothing to do with America at all, or our dreams and aspirations, or anything, and being American, or anything like that. And if that's what you think, you need to take that and go somewhere else with it. Before you go and leave America, you should do one favor for yourself. You should go and look and see um, how how intelligent or not intelligent people are in your new society or country or place that you end up going. Take Obama and Hillary and Bernie with you. And whenever you look up how smart the people are there, you should look for stupid people because you'll fit right in.